Environmental Protection Agency announced this week that it's banning two highly toxic chemicals known to cause cancer. The chemicals TCE and PCE have been used for decades in various industries and everyday household products. The EPA says the new ban will protect workers and consumers from these harmful chemicals that can also contaminate residential water supplies. Dr. Ian Smith joins us now to discuss this major announcement. Can't think of anybody better to be here. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding these chemicals for decades. So let's talk about how important this ban is for the health and well-being of Americans. And would you say this ban is long overdue at this point?
Well, let's start there. I mean, the knowledge that these chemicals are carcinogenic, which means cancer causing, has been with us for a very long time. And the other part of it is that there are alternatives. It's not like these chemicals need to be part of these products in order for these products to be effective. So this is way long overdue. This is one of the complaints, by the way, that people have about the bureaucracy surrounding the EPA, is how long it takes to get something that is a no-brainer through to the point that there's action being done. So we've known this for a long time. It's finally something's going to be done about it, but it's frustrating that it's taken so long for the government to step up and say, hey, let's get rid of these things.
Right. You know, in a statement, the EPA even said it's unacceptable to continue to allow cancer-causing chemicals to be used in things like glue or stain removers when safer alternatives are out there. So, you know, these things are in household products that we are using every single day. And so many people are concerned about that. And yet so many people don't know what they're using, right? They go and they see the brand that they know and they love and their mom used. They go and buy it and they think that they're okay, and they're not.
Well, I think what's most disheartening is that we as consumers, I'm a consumer just like you're a consumer, even though I'm a doctor, I'm still a consumer. We expect there to be an apolitical agency that is really looking over products that are being used, that are on the shelf in the environment to protect us. I mean, that's kind of what we expect them to do. That's the whole mission of this particular agency. And the fact that it's taken so long for them to issue this ban. And let me just say something. People say, well, why haven't any bad things happened to me so far? Well, it's not necessarily that it's going to affect every individual consumer, but if you live near some of these manufacturing plants, or if you work in one of these manufacturing plants, you can be exposed to very high levels of these carcinogenic chemicals, and that can be a real problem. So I just think that, you know, the frustration that people like myself, those who are in medicine and science, have had for a long time is rightly, you know, due because of the slowness that it takes to get the right thing done.
Right. You know, I wanted to ask you about this. The New York Times reported on an Associate of Health Secretary nominee, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Dr. Aaron Siri, and Dr. Siri's 2022 petition to revoke government approval of the polio vaccine and others. This touches a lot of people. How important are these vaccines, in your opinion, and is it concerning to you at this point?
Listen, the polio vaccine is one of the greatest global health achievements in history. It has spared millions of lives. It has prevented millions of physical impairments and paralysis. It is huge for us. The idea that someone thinks that we should revoke the polio vaccine and return ourselves back into the 50s when kids and adults were impaired physically and dying is absolutely ludicrous. There is no scientific basis whatsoever for one to say why we should not be using the polio vaccine. I think that the incoming administration and the country as a whole has to make a real serious decision as to whether or not they are going to look after the best interest of us as citizens, or if they're going to allow political bias to do things that make absolutely no scientific sense.
Wow. Well, a lot to get to there. I know a lot of people follow you, and I want to thank you for spending some time with us on NewsNation. Dr. Ian Smith, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.